Hey, what's up YouTube? Super John here with Deck of the Month for February 2011. As we all know, February is a very important month because of the release of Storm of Ragnarok. And realistically, for the second half of the month is going to be Samurais. However, they're not released yet, and I'm not going to proxy a deck to show you Samurais. I think there's plenty of videos out there about the Samurais, and there's also plenty of videos about cards that you can sideboard in against Samurais. And I have all the cards that you hear about are good. People are talking about Puppet Plant and Goza Match and Kinetic Soldier. All those cards will work, and there's nothing wrong with them. However, what the problem usually is that when you're going to face these Samurais, and you have to stop the sideboard in on game 2 and game 3. If they go first on game 1, you're probably going to lose that game. Okay, so you're fighting back from a hole for game 2 and 3, and then you're sideboarding in these cards. How many cards are you going to have to sideboard in? Because let's be real. One card, 3 copies of one card is not going to do it. You're going to have to side in multiple cards, multiple copies to try to shut down these Samurais, because then not only can they OTK and swarm on on turn 1, turn 2, but they can also control you until turn 3, 4, 5 to where they can get the combo to swarm. So realistically, how bad is your deck going to be after you side in 4 or 5 cards? That's going to change the whole flow of your deck, and odds are not good. Okay, and believe me, I've watched plenty of videos on this stuff. I've given it quite a bit of thought, and that's why I'm doing Deck of the Month on X-Sabers, because it's really, in my opinion, the best deck that can go toe-to-toe with the Samurai heads up, before any kind of sideboarding is done. Because the decks are actually very similar, and they actually counter each other very well. And so that's why, in my opinion, if you're not going to run Samurais, then if you want a competitive chance on winning, I suggest you run X-Sabers. And so here's my February build for X-Sabers. It's not the same sabers that I've had. This has been changed up slightly for a more control aspect, pretty much just to take care of the Samurais. So let's start off with the monsters here. Some of it's the same, but I'll explain some key points as I go through the deck. So 3 Fall Trolls. Okay. 3 Dark Souls. The monster lineup is somewhat similar. 3 Boggart Knights. 3 Full Helm Knights. 2 Immerse Blades. Immerse Blade is going to be your new best friend against the Samurai because of his defensive purposes and his ability to search for your next saber, assuming they don't Solemn Warning. Because that's really your key cards to worry about against the Samurais are Solemn Warning, the Megatami of Kushimanzada or whatever, the trap card, the counter trap card, and the negation effect of Legendary Shien. Those are the 3 main points on the Samurai build. So you have to hope they don't have Solemn Warning and that counter trap, pretty much. So Immerse Blade is your best friend. You're going to run 2 of him, and your second best friend is going to be Pashul, because you're going to search Pashul with Immerse Blade, because he's going to block the rest of the attacks when they swarm the field and have 5 2,000 plus monsters, and they run over your Immerse blade, you're going to search for the other Immerse blade, and then you're going to search for Peshul. So you're going to thin your deck, and you're going to end up with this guy on the field who's going to save your ass, basically. So 2 Peshul. He's also important because of being a 2-star with the combination of Boggart Knight, because 6 is a very important number against samurais, because you're going to need Hyunrei on round 2 and 3 more than likely. So 2 Peshuls, 1 Ragged Gara, because if you can get the loop, the Gotham's loop, that's still good. 1 Guard Strike is good because you're probably going to have an empty field, and the ability to drop him for free to get 1 monster on the field is going to be crucial. You're going to need an X-Saber on the field. 1 Debris Dragon, of course, to bring back Dark Soul and sync for Black Rose to blow up the field, hopefully. 2 Effect Veilers. Effect Veiler is going to be very important on round 1. When they summon Kageki, the Marauding Captain, call priority for his effect, you're going to need to stop that. You're going to either need to stop the summon, or you're going to need to stop his effect. So if you don't stop the summon, you're going to need Effect Veiler, because you cannot let them get that second monster on the field. So Pretty Little Effect Veiler is going to take care of that for you. So you're going to run 2 Effect Veilers. And there's the monsters. I think I'm at 21 monsters. Okay. On to the spells. You still need a draw engine. And special summoning isn't going to be as important until turn 3 or 4. Because you're going to need your field set up first. So you're going to run triple Pot of Duality to help you burn through to get what you need. 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon. You will need to take care of Gateway. Don't burn your MSTs blindly. Don't just shoot off an MST. Try to pop a Gateway. Book of Moon. Book of Moon is going to be key, because you're going to want to target Legendary Shien with Book of Moon. What this is going to do is it's going to force the Samurai player to negate, okay, because they want their Shien face up on the field. And since this isn't a spell that destroys, their only choice is going to be to negate with Shien. Okay, so you play the Book of Moon, that's going to knock out that negation factor. Okay, 2 Book of Moons. Cold Wave. You're going to need to pop Cold Wave or Giant Trunade or Trap Stun, obviously to go off. So you're going to need one of these 2 to happen. So you're going to try to Book of Moon first, or try to do something else, try to Trap Stun or something, so that you can get your bigger spells through, like Dark Hole, your Monster Reborn. Okay, on to the traps. Like I said earlier, you're going to need to stop that initial summon if you can. Okay, so you're going to run 3 Solemn Warnings. 1 Solemn Judgment. Again, if you got to pay $4 grand to stop that first summon, it's worth it, because you're going to die if you don't. Torrential Tribute. It's not going to matter as much if you blow your field up too. Okay, because you're not going for Swarm off the get-go. You're going for control. So Torrential Tribute works in this build. Double Trap Stun. Again, this is going to force a negation from Shien, because if you Trap Stun first during your main phase 1 before you do anything, and they've got 3 or 4 backfield set, if they've got their Solemn Warnings and stuff, this is going to force Shien to negate the Trap Stun. At that point, you'll be able to Dark Hole or whatever else you're wanting to do, whatever big spell plays you're wanting to do, because Shien will have to negate this, because they're going to know that you're going to start summoning. So, double Trap Stun. You only run 1 Gotham's Emergency Call, because in this build, you're not necessarily concentrating on swarming. You're concentrating on staying alive and controlling them. So only 1 Gotham's is really needed. Besides, you've got 3 Fall Trolls to bring them back. 2 Dimensional Prisons. In case they do get a monster on the field, you want that monster to be removed from play if they attack. And then the other 2 cards that are just absolutely necessary in this build, Saber Hole. again, you're going to negate that first summon. You know, so if you've got a face-up Ember's Blade or a face-up, even if you get Dark Soul, summon Dark Soul face-up on the field and play your Saberhull. You know, that's going. You know, you're going to stop that first summon, and that's what's going to keep you alive. Okay. So there's the traps. It's a 42 cards total on the build, and then the extra deck is going to be 2 Hyunleis. Hyunlei, very important. Boggart Knight with Pashul. Turn 2, turn 3, you're going to need that. So setting a Pashul can be good if you've got Solemn Warning, or summoning Full Helm or Ember's Blade or something like that face up with a Saberhull on turn 1, that's good. And then going into your 6-star Hyunlei on turn 2, because except for their counter trap card and Solemn Warnings, they're not going to be able to stop Hyunlei. And so if you trap stun or cold wave or giant trunade or any of those, and that gets through, you're going to be able to bring Hyunlei out and pop off all their backfield. And Hyunlei is big enough to get over Kazan or Grandmaster, so you're going to take out a monster too. So you'll have big pluses off Hyunlei. Critical on turn 2 or 3 to pop Hyunlei. So you're going to run 2 of him. Still have 2 Golems. Because if you happen to get to that point where you swarm with Faltraw, you're going to need the 3100 to get over their Synchro Sheen. And even if they pop 2 counters on Gateway to boost Shin, you've still got them by 100 points. So you still need the 2 Golems. And then 1 Urbellum, because he is bigger than Kazan, he's 100 points more. So even if you get not an ideal draw and you go into the 7-star Urbellum, you're still big enough to get over Kazan. So there's the build, guys. This will work. You know, I've been playtesting Samurais. I'm going to be building Samurais for this coming next month, you know, for the regionals and maybe even for the YCS Charlotte. However, if they neuter Samurais, or you know, I'll obviously go to something else. But for those of you guys who are not playing Samurais, X-Sabers is, in my opinion, is your best bet. So there's deck of the month, February. Thanks for watching, and keep on subscribing, adding me as a friend, all that stuff. And by the way, just to throw that out there, I've got a dual terminal Pashul for trade. If you guys want it, PM me. So that's it, YouTube. Thanks a lot. Peace.